Today I'll be interviewing my good friend Alex Aultman, a personal trainer and musician from Rochester, New York. Alex, thanks for coming on.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me.
So, with being so connected with people through fitness and music, I was wondering if you could tell me the story about the last time you faced a problem within the media industry.
Yeah, man. Of course. Personally, I've had a lot of problems with getting discovered as a musician, musician. And I've been putting out music for a few years, but it's very saturated in the market. So it's very hard to stand out. It's very hard to make yourself stand out with everyone else doing their music. So that's probably one of the biggest problems I've been having recently. And obviously with COVID, it's been hard to do live performances and still get your name out there. That's how a lot of artists get their names out there. And those are probably my top two biggest problems I've been having so far with the music.
That makes a lot of sense. So what would you say has been the hardest part about all that?
Dude, it's sometimes it's hard. The hardest part probably would be to still stay motivated and still, just wanting to keep grinding, because sometimes you might release a song or something and it might not get the exposure you want. But that's where I feel like a lot of people might stop because no one's really listening. So that's probably been the hardest part, is to stay motivated even if your songs aren't doing well,
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. So why would you say that that's been so difficult on you in a sense of staying motivated and things like that?
You said, why is it so hard on me? You said? Okay. I just think, I guess it's more hard on me because it's hard to see, to vision yourself somewhere, and then you may not be obtaining that right away. Absolutely. So I guess it's more of a patience thing, you could say.
Yeah.
And it's hard to I don't know. I guess it's just more of a patience thing for me personally.
So diving a little bit more into the fact that within the industry and within the music industry and not just music, but also media, you mentioned how a lot of people look for ways to be different. And is that something that you've chosen to emphasize and stand by and try to make yourself and your own personal stance different than everybody else?
Dude, 100%. You couldn't have said that any better. Personally, I think that's the biggest thing with getting yourself discovered. And that's what I've been really trying to do. I'm just trying to be, different as possible, be as unique, just be yourself. And I think my one tip would just be to be yourself. And hopefully, if you're truly yourself, I think you shall be different than everyone else.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. I like that. So going back to how you stay motivated and how you talk about how it's difficult because you see yourself and you see maybe some sort of song or some sort of creative motive that you've developed yourself in some piece of art within music, and it doesn't really go as well as the way that you wanted. How do you go about solving that right now instead of kind of dwelling on it?
That's actually a great question. So personally, I just think you just gotta even work harder. Use that as motivation. Use that as something to learn from, and just I'm gonna keep grinding until it pops off, and kind of use that as motivation.
Absolutely, I like that a lot.
That'd be my answer.
That's awesome. And with that being said, I would like to ask you. So, if you had it your way, you prefer to just stay motivated and keep grinding and use that possibility of maybe getting overlooked in certain senses to work harder and things like that. Is that what you're pretty much getting at?
Kind of like the chip on the shoulder type thing. You kind of want to prove yourself to people.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. Sounds good. Well, Alex, I really appreciate the interview. And for everybody listening, check him out on Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, all of them. He's on everything. And Al, I really appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much for having me, bro.
Absolutely.